The Proxy 2-rax Reaper in Terran vs. Terran, one of the most popular builds that we've been seeing lately in pro-level Terran vs. Terran. It's a build which comes out and often does get a few free wins. Sometimes it falls flat on its ass, and I'm not necessarily sure a lot of Terran players out there fully understand exactly how it works. So we're going to just do a very quick build order guide today. Let's take a look at it. Now, of course, if you guys want the set build order notes rather than the video of me just walking through it, you'd like to just read through it, use it as a reference point, just click on that link down in the comments section below. It's also linked in chat. And as I say that, I link it in chat. There you guys go. And I'm also just going to very quickly show you guys that little link over to Spawning Tool, where check it out. Okay. Now, in this one, I haven't even bothered writing out the build because it's very simple. I've just used the, the timestamps ripped straight out of the replay here, and you can see the set build order list. So you can scroll through that, check it. Some of my other guides, I'll actually write it out if it's a more detailed kind of longer macro build, which is a bit more flexible. In the case of this one, it's pretty defined in terms of how you do it. There is one or two small changes, which I'll mention here in the video and edit there into that information later. And there'll also be a link here to my daily video once that's up. Obviously, I am kind of creating this live right now. So guys, we're going to just dive straight on into game and let's take a look at it. So I am looking at ICYFAR versus Iaguz. I had Iaguz on to talk about the following series to this particular one on Pro Talk just last week. And we were talking about this, and Iaguz basically just explained it in the most simple way possible. I was like, okay, how, excuse me, just a bit of a coffee burp there, casual exclamation mark burp in chat. Basically, there's 3 builds in TvT right now, guys. And this one here is specifically to punish the fast expand builds. So you've got your generic fast expand builds, which get punished really hard and often just straight up lose to this. You've then also got your much safer one base sort of, I'm going to take 2 gases and get out 2 Reapers and then either a Hellion or a Cyclone immediately, tech up really fast on one base and delay my expansion. This build is really good against the former. It is fantastic against when your opponent chooses to rush an expansion. It is not so great when your opponent is going to be doing something like a one base build. So this is definitely something which exists in the meta. In the meta? What the fuck? In the meta. To kind of counteract that. So what we have is a little bit of a triangle. We can keep that playing. So we have a bit of a triangle with builds. So you've got, this is something which often happens in StarCraft. Up here at the top, we've got normal expand build. And that is usually favored against the one base 2 gas build by just a little bit. But then the one base 2 gas build does really well against the Proxy Reaper down here. And the Proxy Reaper kicks the shit out of the expand build up here. So you've got these 3 builds which all kind of go in a circle and counter each other, or they go in a triangle and counter each other. And it's important to kind of understand how each one works and how strong they are so you can start to make the right decisions based on what you're seeing on ladder a lot. Now, keep in mind, guys, I'm a mid-grandmaster player, and my solution in the past to this problem has been to simply always go for the one base 2 gas opening because it's so safe against this. And I can usually catch up against an expand build, even if it's a map where they defend all my early pressure. So if you're not playing at the highest level possible, it's completely fine to just play a little bit safer. You don't necessarily need to use this build, but I know a lot of you like to have the full gamut of builds at your disposal. You like to know how to use them, how they all work, and of course this allows us to appreciate pro play a hell of a lot more. So anyway, as we watch here, we see the Reapers come in, snipe down the enemy Reaper. They're going to dive around, and the aim here is to kill a buttload of stuff before a Cyclone gets out. Now, unfortunately, a Reaper did go down there, and it actually looks like this is being quite held. The Reaper's kind of derped out a little bit there, not being able to jump up. I think because SCVs were blocking it. I'm not 100% sure there, because those Reapers were doing a little bit of a dance. And it's kind of interesting, because Cyclones definitely do shut this down, but you're usually going to have already done a massive amount of damage by the time a Cyclone does get out. In this case, Iaguz went for the kind of quicker, cheaper unit to respond. He went for a Hellion first. And so ICYFAR here, he's just waiting for his Reapers to finish regenerating those combat drugs, bloody tasty, floats his barracks home, and leaving it on ICYFAR's view. He goes, okay, let's finish off this command center, and then let's look for a bit more damage. Let's see if we can get some. He says, okay, there's a bunker on the left, I'll jump on the right. This map isn't great. There's not a lot of jump up spots, right? But you can see here just the power and mobility of the Reapers, pulling the weak ones to the rear, clicking on these, target firing these units down. Now focus firing SCVs, knowing his time's almost up in that base, because there's got to be a Cyclone about to pop. So he's, yeah, just focusing down as much as he can, and then he's going to have to get on out of there and just go with his transition at home. So let's fast forward from here, guys. Oops, I do not have my normal observing hotkeys on. That's fine. Let's very quickly change that around so I don't end up jerking the camera around like a drunk madman. Speaking of drunk or crazed madman, I was watching The Room yesterday. Oh my god, that is a bloody incredible movie. I only watched part of it, but Dot and her friend were over watching some shitty movies, and holy shit, that made my day. Alright, and that's it. You defend the counter pressure with Viking Cyclone. Alright, let's actually go back quickly, look through the details of this build, and talk you guys through exactly how to do this. It's not a complicated build, very easy. So let's do this one more time, and let's talk about the specifics. Okay, fast forward. So first things first, send out one of your very first SCVs to your proxy location. And then you're actually going to go for a depot first. So rally your first built SCV to the ramp as you would with a regular build and build a depot. And then just after you put that down, you immediately send another SCV across the map as well to join that first one. So it's going to be a barracks gas opening. Notice there's no gas first. This is going to mean your barracks is earlier, which means your first Reaper gets out faster, which means you can start punching your opponent in the face nice and fast. Fucking fantastic. Barracks. Gas goes down immediately after that barracks starts. And notice, guys, what supply are we on? 15. So you freeze up on 15 supply, you cut some SCVs to do this, and then you drop a second barracks on 15, and then immediately restart SCV production. Now, we are going to see a little bit of an interesting decision from Seether, and that is to not take his second gas straight away. And the thing is, he has the money, and he doesn't take his gas until about a minute 30, a minute 35, if I remember correctly. Yeah, minute 33. And this is a little bit weird here, because he did have a little bit of excess minerals there. Obviously, you do want to save enough for your orbital to be able to use that. But let's very quickly compare this. Well, we'll compare it a little bit later. Let's finish walking you through the build, and I'll do a little comparison to a Lives version that he used against Innovation the day before yesterday. And yeah, you normally want to bank up 3 SCVs. I like that SCV. It didn't want to show itself, so it just came into vision to check if there was a command center, so Seether knew what he was going into. Because if there's no command center there, you're like, oh, fuck, he's doing a 1-base build. I really need to try and surprise him and get some damage done, because you know there's much less time to get damage done. There's going to be a Cyclone out, and generally it is just a worse situation, but you kind of need to transition even faster a lot of the time if that's the case. And here we go. Notice just moving and shooting on that Reaper, and this is the most important micro. This is so important, guys. Being able to just focus down that Reaper and just ignore the SCVs. Your own Reapers are pretty much like butted up little oil wrestlers or something like that. These guys are just mad. But it's very important to be able to work on that micro when you're developing this build. If you're not good at that micro, it just takes practice. It's something I've been working on my kind of cheesy, aggressive account recently, is trying to micro my Reapers aggressively. Move, shoot, and Seether there did a really good job. And once you get their Reaper, you know, they're way down. You know, a single Marine can come out. Often you can even focus the Marine down. Because these Reapers are so wounded, they do mess up a little bit, and unfortunately that Reaper goes down. But we see there the Reapers really start to derp out for some reason. Not sure if that's a map bug specifically to this one or something else. So anyway, guys, back to the build order, the important part. So anywhere from a minute 10 to a minute 30, you drop that second gas, depending on exactly how you want to do it. I'm going to talk about the differences later. And then you want to be building Reapers, and you normally want to go to about 5 Reapers. Occasionally, you'll see people who go a third barracks and just go all in with this. You can do that. That's a slightly different build order usually, but you can definitely do that. More commonly with this build, you'll go up to about 5 Reapers, and then you'll immediately float these barracks home. And behind this, as soon as you have gas, you should be dropping a factory. Now, Seether here, big nervous situation, very busy microing his Reapers. His factory is actually a little bit late. You can see he's putting that down, and he's still got 250 minerals and 100 gas spare. So that should be down a little bit earlier. But if you execute it as well as this, you're still going to be doing pretty decently. So the barracks Remember, after 5 Reapers, they do fly home. So that one's already flying home. This one will fly home soon. It's just very busy microing Reapers in a mineral line right now, so obviously not too focused on it. And then as soon as you get the cash, you go for a command center. So it's factory, starport, command center. He's going to build a bunker at the front. Not always 100% necessary, but it's important to non-stop build Cyclones and a Viking because your opponent will almost always, in the current meta, be doing some sort of counterattack. They're going to have more units than you, especially if you lose your Reapers. But having the Viking shoots down the medevac, having the Cyclone allows you to fight their Cyclone, and your second Cyclone will time out just as they arrive. So even if they've got 2 Cyclones, you can usually defend and hang on, even if it is a 2-gas opening that's counterattacking you. And that's basically the end of the build order, guys. That is about it. So that was all fantastic, and I accidentally fucking closed my tab. The preparation today
does it on ladder.
is out of this world. So check this out, guys. We're going to take a look at this being used in a very tip-top level pro game, very recent game. All right, Innovation versus Alive. Check this out. So we just saw it being used in the WCS qualifier, but now we're seeing it used at the absolute tip-top Korean level. Now, once again, guys, keep in mind, it's still 15 supply. I know you can't see because there's this stupid watch later thing, which I don't know how to remove in the top right. But 15 supply, racks, gas, racks. Now, let's just double check that. It is indeed racks before gas, right? Yes, it is. Just double checking. So it's racks, gas, racks. But his second gas is going to go down a hell of a lot sooner. So we're going to see the second gas of Alive go down just after that first one finishes. You can see it on the minimap and the production tab right now, a minute 10. So it's the exact same build order as Seether's, I think just executed a little bit better because if you're going to be going that factory and that starport, you just want to get that gas up as quickly as possible. So check it out. And that should be good. And just to give you a little update, spoiler alert, yes, Alive won this game very, very quickly, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he did. I'm like, wait a second. Yeah, he literally got in the base and got Innovation down to, I believe, 1 SCV. Yeah, 3 workers versus 15. It was terrible for Innovation. It was really bad. All right, guys, thank you very much for hanging out. That's going to be the end of today's show. Took longer than 5 minutes because I realized, I was like, you know what? Actually, I want to show you the VOD of Alive. Actually, I want to talk about that gas timing slightly more because I did realize that was wrong as I was setting the shot. Good build. Try it out. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We're going to do a lot more mirror matchups. I've done almost no ZVZ content like in the last year. So I'm bringing you some ZVZ and PvP over the next couple of days. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Last chance, by the way, to send in replays for this week's ICYFAR. You have like a couple hours. So tonight, right now, when you are laddering, send me in some replays of your sick baits because we don't have many submissions. And honestly, oh my God, like I want to see some people baiting people into burrowed banelings, baiting them into disruptor shots, baiting them into sick surrounds, all sorts of awesome shit. So show me your awesome baits, show me your mind games, and thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hug a watermelon, kick a walrus, and of course, punch a cactus to the moon. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.